Coming up on today's show, Tobias Harris feeling the heat from the fan base. Dany Green tried to defend him and in doing so criticized the fan base once again. And in a win against the Magic last night, went 0 for across the board. According to The Athletic, Sacramento Kings interested in a Ben Simmons trade. And earlier this week on the show, I had asked you to send me pictures of you supporting the Philadelphia 76ers. A lot of you did. And because we are the channel of Philadelphia, we're going to show those pictures coming up later on today's show. A loaded show coming your way, so let's get to it and let's talk some Sixers basketball. Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. We start off today's show with getting into this Tobias Harris and Dany Green drama because this is the talking point of Philadelphia right now. Tobias Harris is not having a good year. He's the highest paid player on the Sixers, not living up to those expectations. And his season this year, not as good as last year. And rightfully so, the fan base has gotten on to him and he's starting to feel that heat. And after hitting a shot the other night against the Houston Rockets, Philadelphia, as they usually do, their very knowledgeable fan base, started to clap and applaud him putting the biscuit in the basket. He responded to that by saying, "Don't effing clap." So I want to dive in to some of this drama going down with Tobias Harris, Dany Green, and what Tobias Harris had to say about some of that fan criticism, and why I can see where Sixers fans are coming from, because Tobias Harris is getting the bag right now, but he's not having a good year. Tobias Harris did address that fan criticism after that win against the Orlando Magic last night, and as we always do here on the channel, gonna give credit where credit is due because he put forward 22 points and played pretty solid even though he's feeling the heat. TOBI on the fan criticism saying this, quote, "I love our fan base. With praise, you also have to be willing to take criticism." At that point, I was completely frustrated, and it was one of those things. Something that I learned is to keep it cool all the way around and keep being who I am. I've had an up and down year thus far, but I don't think anybody in that arena is harder on me than I am on myself. I understand that and want to play the greatest basketball that I can play. Nobody died. I just got booed. Now, Tobias Harris is a good dude. He understands the temperature from the fan base, and I'm glad that he owned up to the fact that he has not played up to his par or level of expectations. And you take a look at the numbers from last year to this year, the numbers are down really all across the board. 19.5 points per game last year, down to 18.4. The rebounds are up, but really he's not asked to rebound the basketball. He's asked to score the basketball. Field goal percentage down significantly from 51 plus to 45. 3-point percentage dreadful. 39% a year ago, all the way down to 29 plus. And even the free throw percentage has suffered as well. I've always kind of thought this about Tobias Harris. He's a nice guy. He is a good player, but he is wildly overpaid. There's no reason why he should be the highest paid player on the Philadelphia 76ers and one of the highest paid players in the NBA. He's a good player who's grossly overpaid, and because of that, that's why he receives kind of the criticism from the Philadelphia fan base, because he is not worthy of making $36 million. Now, if you want to blame Elton Brand for giving him that really massive contract, you can. But at some point, you have to live up to that standard, and TOBI hasn't been able to do that. And the contract only gets worse over the next couple of years. $37.5 million next year, $39 million in 2023-2024, and Sixers fans are already looking ahead to 2024 when he becomes a free agent at the ripe age of 32 because they don't want him on this team anymore at that price tag. Again, good player, not a great player, but he is being paid great money. And Dany Green, over the summer, he came to the defense of Ben Simmons and criticized the fan base, and once again, he's taken shots at the city of Philadelphia, and as a man who grew up in this city, I don't stand for that. Dany Green on Tobias Harris. He does not deserve the disrespect that he's gotten. Dany Green, take a pulse. Yes, he does, because he's getting paid an exorbitant amount of money, and he's not playing up to that level. And then after Dany Green had said that, what did he go out there and do? An offer in 23 minutes. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 dimes, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. if you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk and vice versa. Dany Green ain't doing that, and that game against the Magic was bad, and he's been bad all year as well. So, Philly, I want to ask you this question, and honestly, be honest in the comments section. Sound off if you have to. Do you find Dany Green to be annoying? Now, I'm not going to go shock jock radio host on you, because we kind of handle things a little bit differently here on the channel, but I just find Dany Green to be annoying, especially because he's kind of been a weak player the last year and change. So if you find him annoying, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. And if you want to rip me in the comment section, you can do that as well. Dany Green is a player who I think is important to the 76ers culture, but right now it's like, come on, Dany. You're going to say these things and not back it up? That's kind of weak for me. Now, as evidenced by the comment section just popping off over the last several videos, because we as Philadelphians know we are very outspoken. If you want to represent the Philadelphia 76ers and show your true colors, you can do so with this fresh Sixers hoodie, thanks to our friends at Fanatics and co-owner Michael Rubin. It was $70, now on sale, limited time only for just $52, and it's not only available in black, multiple colors for this hoodie. If you plug in that link down below, chatsports.com/Sixer hoodie. Yes, chatsports.com/Sixer hoodie. Plug in that link. You'll get that deal, but you must plug in that link for that deal to apply. We couldn't get through a show without addressing the latest Ben Simmons trade rumors, and I actually think that we can put some level of stock in this report from Sam Amick of The Athletic, saying the Sacramento Kings, sitting at 10th place in the Western Conference right now, thinking about rebuilding that roster, trading away some of those pieces, could be interested and are definitely interested, quote, in a trade for Ben Simmons. Sam Amick, latest on the reporting on the Ben Simmons trade front. While the Kings would prefer to keep building around De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton, their strong appetite is to improve. That means no player is off the table in terms of potential talks. Wherever there's an impact player who can be had, in other words, they're exploring possibilities. And yes, as you likely wondered, that does include Philadelphia's own Ben Simmons. While I reported in early September that a King-Simmons deal was looking very unlikely, that was long before team officials had a chance to see nearly half a season's worth of almost subpar play. Sacramento's interest is definitely there on the Ben Simmons trade front. And when you take a look at some of the intriguing trade assets on the Kings roster, there are a few players who could entice Daryl Morey in a trade. De'Aaron Fox is averaging a shade under 21 points per game. He's a playmaking point guard. I know a lot of Sixers fans out there are very high on Buddy Hield, and they've been high on him the last couple of years as kind of a flamethrower who can either start games for you, come in off the bench, and knock down some threes at a very efficient clip. Tyrese Haliburton, very good point guard, who I really liked alongside Tyrese Maxey in the 2020 NBA draft class, but does he kind of clash with De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell, who is another player who I really like, who helped Baylor win the national championship last year. Reminds me a lot of a player like Kyle Lowry, and then Harrison Barnes, kind of a 3-and-D guy who can play elite level defense, can kind of create on the offensive end of the floor, a better version of a Rocco and Robert Covington who gives you a little bit more with putting the ball on the deck. Those 5 guys, very intriguing trade assets from the Sacramento Kings, and you can really sell me on a combination of those players. Now, if it's a player-for-player swap for Ben Simmons, Tyrese Haliburton, a De'Aaron Fox, a Buddy Hield, then I don't like it. But if you can get 2 of those players back in exchange for Ben Simmons, I actually think that's a pretty solid deal for Philadelphia because it gives you some starters, it gives you some bench players, and gives you a little bit of lineup versatility. With some of those guards, they can defend depending on which player you're talking about. They can knock down some threes. They can play create with putting the ball on the floor. And I don't think that necessarily they would clash with the Tyrese Maxey. And another victory in some of those trades, you might not have to include Tyrese Maxey, who is Philadelphia's son and a guy who I really like the upside for. So, once again, I want you to chime in the comment section. Which Kings player or players would you want the most in a trade for Ben Simmons? Just list me a name or names in the comment section, and maybe I didn't include some trade assets that you like. Either way, let me know in the comment section right now. if and when a Sixers trade happens, you already know we're going to have you covered here on Philadelphia 76ers Now. Faster, better, more efficiently, and more entertaining than anybody out there. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below. Turn on those notifications. Therefore, whenever we push out a video, you will be notified and you'll be able to stay in the know with everything going down with this franchise. Earlier this week, I'd put out a call because we're a channel of Philadelphia, and I had said the first 5 people to send me a picture of you, your family, rocking and supporting the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm going to put you on the show. Well, I got a flurry of responses, and instead of 5 people being featured on the show, loyal viewers here of Philadelphia 76ers Now, I'm putting 8 of y'all on the show. This picture coming in from Peter Thurman. Gotta love the Dr. J. Julius Irving picture supporting the squad. How about another one coming in from Myron Hyman, rocking the 76ers hat. Love to see it. He was one of the first ones who sent me a picture of him supporting this squad. Then we also got a family photo coming in from Clifford Dorsey. I exchanged a couple of DMs with him. He knows his Sixers hoops for sure, and he was at a recent game. Sent us that picture of him and the fam at the Wells Fargo Center. Another one coming in from Iron Mizzle. That looks to be a Joel Embiid throwback jersey. He's got the shoes and the hat to match. Iron Mizzle, all types of swagged out. Tim Starr sent me several photos. We decided to show this one. He's rocking a hat. He's got the Ray-Bans. He's got the Sixers crew neck with kind of that Snapchat filter as well. Tim was with his daughter at a recent Philadelphia 76ers game. He's got the hat. He's got the sweatshirt. His daughter rocking a jersey as well. You love to see that. Isa Wallace, he's got the Nationals threads, and he's with, I believe, some of his family members, maybe some of his kids as well. Shout out to Isa for the photo too. And AG at the Wells Fargo Center with his wife recently, putting on for the Philadelphia 76ers. And again, this is why you subscribe to the channel, because we talk about audience interaction, audience engagement. Hey, we live up to the billing, unlike Dany Green and Tobias Harris. So if you want Sixers coverage that is entertaining, informative, consistent, fast, and involves you, the people, hit that red subscribe button down below. And if you made it this far in the show, type me in the comment section. All of you who do type me, I'm giving you a shout out on the next Philadelphia 76ers Now. Thanks for watching today's show, and hey, hit that red subscribe button and join the family here at Chat Sports.